Hello and welcome to the session on Central Teachings in Indian Philosophy. Different schools of Indian philosophy. Indian philosophy is known as darshanas in India and as religion in West. In India, philosophy is not merely an academic discipline, it is a tool and guide for the betterment of human life. There are many philosophical schools. They are mainly come under the main two traditions, the orthodox school of ASTIKA tradition and heterodox school of NASTIKA tradition. Irrespective of multiple and diverse philosophical schools, all of them exist with mutual respect even when critiquing each other's in their basic precepts. All schools accept the concept of karma as an explanation for the existence of suffering. Nothing in life is accident. Everything is related to our karmas or actions that we have done in the present and past lives. Astika tradition or orthodox school belongs to the Brahmanic tradition, which is later consolidated as the Hindu tradition. They believe in the supremacy of textual scriptures. The Vedas are seen as the most ancient and authentic sacred literature for the exponents of orthodox school. The different sects under orthodox traditions are the Samkhya, Yoga, Nyaya, Vaishesika, Poorva Mimamsa and Uttara Mimamsa. The Samkhya, Yoga, Nyaya, Vaishesika and Mimamsa Vedanta schools are grouped together. The heterodox tradition did not believe in the supremacy of the Vedic text. Neither have they believed in the existence of God. They emphasize a materialist worldview. The important sects under the tradition are the Charvaka, the Buddhist and the Jainist traditions. The Vedas. Vedas are seen as the most ancient sacred literature and known as the mother of all scriptures. They are also termed as Shastras. The word Veda means knowledge, wisdom, strategies, etc. Vedas are believed to be written in Sanskrit and belong to 3rd century BC, but there are disputes about the authenticity of this period. Since written historic documents were less in ancient times, it is difficult to determine the period of Vedas in precision. Initially, the Vedas were transmitted orally from generation to generation. This is through the process of repeating and remembering the verses and hymns continuously. The hymns in Vedas varied in length and style and consist of praising the pantheon of gods. They also include magical incantations. They are used for ritualistic practices such as pujas and propitiation. There are four parts in Vedas: the Samhitas, hymns, the Brahmanas, rituals, the Aranyakas, theologies, the Upanishads, philosophies. The Samhitas includes hymns, mantras and magical incantations. The hymns are descriptive and prescriptive. They are descriptive in terms of details in describing and praising of gods and prescriptive in terms of explanation about how one should act and behave in each life situations. The Samhitas include 4 Vedas: Rig Veda, Yajur Veda, Sama Veda and other Veda. The Brahmanas are texts that describe ritualistic precepts and religious duties. The Aranyakas are theological precepts and mainly meant for mendicants and ascetics. It deals with mysticism and symbolism. Although these two terms are quite modern and consist of a different meaning now, the Upanishads provides philosophical perspectives about all the other 3 Vedas and known as the end of Veda, which means Vedanta. Vedas. Veda means wisdom, knowledge or vision. It is believed that Vedas are the manifestation of the language of gods for human beings. Hence, Vedas are also known as Shrudis or what is heard from the gods and remembered by the rishis. The truth is, Veda is seen as revelation from gods. So, a specific author, or in other words, authorship, has no particular importance in the writing of Vedas. He or she is seen as a mediator to transfer the knowledge from gods to the humans. They provide a general scheme of codes and conducts that are required for the regulation of domestic, social, legal and religious customs in the ancient time. These codes and conducts are said to be addressed the issues and customs of a person from birth to death. But They were quite different from the present-day judicial rules and regulations. Vedas or the Samhitas are divided into four: Rig Veda, Yajur Veda, Samaveda, Atharvaveda. There is a fifth Veda which is known as Ayurveda, but it is treated as parts included in and taken from the other four Vedas, especially the Atharvaveda. Rig Veda. The Rig Veda is considered as the first among the four Vedas and consists of recited prayers and praises of God. It explains the universal order of life in three different levels: the internal, external and spiritual. The internal refers to the soul, the external refers to the dharma of the world, and the spiritual refers to the cosmological universe. The period of Rig Veda is date back to 1500 BC to 1000 BC. Yajur Veda. Yajur Veda is meant to meet the need for ceremonial occasions such as yagas and yajnas. It is roughly a guidebook for the priests who execute sacrificial acts by reciting prayers. It contains liturgical collections of melodies and it is known as Veda of sacrificial text, Samaveda. The Samaveda is also the Veda of holy songs or liturgical collections of melodies. The mantras in Samaveda addresses Agni, Indra and Sama. They are believed to be a reduced version of the Rig Veda without having distinctive lessons of their own. Atharvaveda. This is the fourth Veda and speaks more about human physiology, yoga, ailments, social structure, medicine, etc. Atharvaveda is seen as one with the simpler language among Vedas. Ayurveda owes much of its knowledge to Atharvaveda. The ASTIKA tradition. The ASTIKA philosophical tradition is known as the orthodox schools. They believe in the supremacy of textual scriptures such as Vedas and Dharma Shastras. They did not allow their customary practices to justify any actions. Instead, they stick to the textual descriptions and directions for any justification of the actions. Following are the different sects under the ASTIKA tradition or orthodox schools. Among these sects, most of them believe in the supremacy of God except Samkhya and Poorva Mimamsa schools. They do not accept God as the omnipotent existence. Samkhya. Samkhya is one of the oldest philosophical schools belong to orthodox schools. They believe that every reality stems from Purusha and Prakriti. Purusha is soul or mind and Prakriti is matter or creative energy. Because of the two poles of Purusha and Prakriti or self and matter, Samkhya tradition is a dualist philosophy. Samkhya and Yoga are complementary philosophies. It deals with the arrangements of the cosmos. Yoga. Yoga is one of the important schools that tells us about the unity of mind and matter or body. It upholds the discipline of body as the method in linking oneself with the Supreme Lord. It accepts the basic tenets of Samkhya with a few exceptions. Yoga provides a method or rather technique through which one can liberate oneself from the bondage of karma. This method provides meticulously designed breath-based bodily exercises and meditation for the salvation of both body and mind. Nyaya. The Nyaya school deals with the concept of logic and reasoning. It focuses on the epistemology of things and teaches method of investigation. In this tradition, knowledge can be assessed through pramana, which includes four methods. They are perception, inference, analogy and testimony. Pramana is a way through which the mind can obtain the right measure of any subject. The assessed knowledge can also be validated through the four methods. The Nyaya school is equivalent to the analytical tradition of Western philosophy. Vaishesika. The Vaishesika school deals with the physical sciences of the world or nature of the universe. Kannada is known as the main proponent of this tradition. This tradition is equivalent to the atomist and pluralistic tradition of Western philosophy. Every object can be reduced to a finite number of atoms. Brahman is the fundamental force that unites the atoms. The Vaishesika school accepts only perception and inference as methods to assess valid knowledge and rejects analogy and testimony. Poorva Mimamsa. The Poorva Mimamsa school interprets and establishes the authority of the Vedas. The sutras of Poorva Mimamsa are ascribed to Maharishi Jamini. A person can attain salvation or moksha only through the strict observation and performance of religious rituals as per the prescription in the Vedas. These ritual practices are known as brahmanas. In other words, Poorva Mimamsa insisted on the performance of Vedic rites and rituals. Uttara Mimamsa. The Uttara Mimamsa is the end of Vedas and known as Vedanta. It is believed to be written by Badrayana Vyasa. The Uttara Mimamsa focus on the Upanishadic teachings rather than the Brahmanic teachings of Poorva Mimamsa. They are philosophical perspectives of Vedas. It emphasizes certain techniques in discipline oneself such as meditation and did not focus on ritualistic exercises. The Upanishadic sutras are cryptic and poetic. There are 6 schools under Upanishadic tradition. They are Advaita, visishtadvaita, dvaita, advaita, shuddadvaita and abheda. In Advaita, the soul and Brahman are one and the same. In visishtadvaita, Vishnu is the supreme being. Dvaita espouses belief in Vishnu, soul and matter. Dvaitadvaita thinks Brahman as an independent entity and soul and matter as mutually dependent things. Shuddadvaita espouses Krishna as the supreme form of Brahman. As the name indicates, abheda does not separate soul, matter and the supreme being. It considers soul as distinct yet non-distinct from the God. Thus it upholds monism and dualism at a time. The NASTIKA tradition. The NASTIKA tradition is known as the heterodox schools. This tradition evolved through debating with the ASTIKA or the orthodox school of philosophy and opposing the Vedic authority. As the word means, heterodox symbolizes diverse beliefs, opinions and ideas of philosophy. The main schools in NASTIKA tradition are the Charvaka, the Buddhist and the Jainist philosophies. They do not believe in the supremacy of scriptures or Vedas to establish their authority. They also do not believe in an unknown God out there as a savior and hence asserts a materialistic tradition. But they believe in the concept of karma or actions as explanation for the suffering of human beings. Further, they believe in moksha or salvation. The NASTIKA tradition establishes itself by criticizing the orthodox schools or the Hindu philosophical concepts. Hence, it does not belong to the Hindu philosophical traditions. If ASTIKA tradition is theist, NASTIKA tradition can be seen as atheist. The Charvaka school. The Charvaka school is known as the Lokyata tradition or the materialistic tradition. It is known in the name of the exponent Rishi Charvaka. This tradition is skeptical, atheistic and materialistic. Skeptical schools doubt everything before accepting the truth in them. The school criticizes almost all other orthodox philosophical traditions. It acknowledges the existence of the loka or the universe and karma, the actions and doings of human beings. They did not believe in any religious rites and also did not espouse a theory of afterlife. So, the concept of sin and virtue has no importance in Charvaka school. The Buddhism. The Buddhism also as an atheistic and materialist tradition. Its founder Gautama Buddha was prince known as Siddhartha. Buddhist philosophy is said to have drawn some ideas from Samkhya yoga tradition. The question of existence of God is irrelevant in this tradition. It suggests a noble eightfold path to deal with the sufferings due to one's karma or action. Buddhism upholds non-violence and sacrifice. All phenomena have a transient or fleeting nature in Buddhism. the concept of existence in Buddhism is known as the wheel of existence. They believe in karma and rebirth or afterlife, but they don't uphold the theory of Atma or soul. Buddhist school is further divided into Mahayana and Hinayana sects. Literally, Mahayana means greater vehicle and Hinayana means lesser vehicle. Mahayana espouses shunyata or emptiness and believe that everything including the self is void. Hinayana provides self-serving principles meant for the enlightenment of the practitioner. The spiritual ideas in this tradition is to provide liberation for oneself. Hinayana has 18 sects under which Theravada and Sarvastiveda are important. The Jainism. Vardhamana Mahavira is one of the main proponents who established the central tenets of Jainism. He was a contemporary of Gautam Buddha. Mahavira was a seer and the last prophet in the Jainist tradition. The prophets in Jainist school are also known as Tirthankaras. In this tradition, reality differs according to situations, different points of view and different perception. There is no such single and unique view or reality or truth about anything. But those who have infinite knowledge can assess the ultimate truth. Like Buddhism, this tradition also upholds non-violence. It emphasizes equality of all and self-control of human beings as a means for non-violence. They believe in Anekantavada. According to this, nothing can be affirmed absolutely. All realities depend upon their particular situations and conditions and therefore have a limit in themselves. So a thing, a situation or a reality can be true as well as untrue at the same time. The Jainist school is further divided into two sects, the Svedambras and the Digambras. The former one wears white cloth whereas the later one do not clothe themselves. Digambras have severe tenets and rituals. The Svedambras believe in canonical works whereas Digambras do not believe in them. The main ideology of these two schools is same, but the rituals and perspectives are different. Important philosophical text. Arthashastra. Arthashastra is known as the only political, economical and philosophical text in India. It is widely known as text based on the rules and principles of economical activities because of the literal translation of artha as wealth or economy. But in reality, it is a treatise that covers a wide range of areas such as moral and ethical actions of people, rajas and rishis, about economic transactions and policies, about military strategies and about statecraft. It is written by Kautilya, who is known in different names as Chanakya and Vishnugupta. Arthashastra is said to be written by Chanakya during the period of King Chandragupta Maurya. Mahabharata. Mahabharata is seen as one of the two great epics or itihasa of India. This epic is also familiar in other parts of the world such as Nepal, Sri Lanka, etc. It gives a descriptive story of the great war happened in Kurukshetra between close relatives. The war had believed to be happened between Pandavas, the 5 sons of King Pandu, and Kurus or Kauravas, the 101 sons of King Dhritarashtra. The text is not merely a descriptive depiction of great war, love, hatred and rivalry between close relatives and friends. It contains hundreds of mythical and philosophical stories including Bhagavad Gita, Nalacharita and a brief version of Ramayana. It also contains intrinsic moral or ethical issues that are permeates within life across generation. It speaks about the 4 goals of life which is termed as Purushartha. The 4 Purusharthas are Dharma, Artha, also can be translated as purpose, Kama, pleasure or entertainment, and Moksha, salvation or liberation. An important section of Mahabharata is known as Bhagavad Gita, which in itself is a stand-alone text. There are hundreds of versions of Mahabharata across India from different perspectives, which shows the wide range of acceptability of this itihasa. The Bhagavad Gita. The Bhagavad Gita is an ancient epic of India which contains hundreds of stories through which certain morals or ethics are conveyed to the reader. It is believed to be written by the Rishi Vyasa. Irrespective of stories which are pertain to a particular period of the medieval history, the morals or the puzzles encountering by a person are even irrelevant for the contemporary life. The Gita consists of 700 verses as a philosophical and metaphysical dialogue between Lord Krishna and the warrior and Pandava prince Arjuna from the war front of Kurukshetra. Bhagavad Gita is a part of Mahabharata and is equivalent to an Upanishadic text since the content includes philosophical insights to deal with the complex situations of life. Ramayana. Ramayana is also as the second great epic and itihasa. It is believed to be written by Maharishi Valmiki. Like Mahabharata, this epic too is a story of war, loss and victory in which Rama, his wife Sita and their enemy as well as a devotee, Ravana, got more prominence. Rather than philosophical and moral preaching, Ramayana contains stories and events of materialistic world where duties and obligations of son, father, brother, wife, mother and the devotees got more importance. But it also speaks about dharma and values, but not always as elaborate as that of Mahabharata. Ramayana too has hundreds of versions such as Bali Ramayana, Kamba Ramayana, Buddhist version, etc. Mahabharata and Ramayana have a wide range of acceptance across generations. Manusmriti. Manusmriti is also known as Dharma Shastra. It is written by Manu and is the most controversial epic text in India. The basic premise of this text is built around the Jati system or Chadurvarnyam, which means each and every caste is marked in a hierarchical order and has designed to perform particular functions and duties. This text was translated by many of the British administrators in the late 19th century. Among them, William Jones' translation is the famous one. This is the most discussed text as well as opposed one because of its focus on the caste hierarchy. Manusmriti also discusses the moral obligations of people and their dharmas according to their position in the caste hierarchy. According to this text, the people in the higher caste order has more privileges than the one in the lower order. The punishments described for the lower caste order people are severe than that of the higher order people. Let us summarize the main ideas in this session. In this unit, we have charted out the central teachings in Indian philosophy by pointing out the different philosophical traditions. The nature of Vedas are analyzed along with the different parts of Vedas and diverse types of Vedas. Different sects under orthodox school and heterodox school of philosophy are described. Apart from main Vedas and Upanishads, some other important philosophical texts which gain larger currency among the people of India are also discussed. Some of them, such as Ramayana and Mahabharata, are also known as the great epics of India and acquired a wider reach among the population. Now you can try to answer the questions given here. Which are the main philosophical traditions in India? Why Manusmriti became the most controversial philosophical text in India? What are the different sects under orthodox tradition? What are the main differences between ASTIKA tradition and NASTIKA tradition? What are the four parts of the Vedas? What are the similarities in Buddhism and Jainism? What are the important features of great epics of India? For reference, you can go through the books given here. Outlines of Indian Philosophy by Jadunath Sinha, The Modern Press, Agra, 1949. An Introduction to Indian Philosophy by Satish Chandra Chatterjee and Dhirendra Mohan Dutt, University of Calcutta, 1984. Thank you for watching this program. We can meet again with another topic. Till then, take care.